Hey there, it's Dr. E today with some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Stress levels are at an all-time high, and I don't need to tell you that, right? Now, short bursts of stress can be very powerful. They can motivate us to make positive changes, but chronic long-term stress wreaks havoc on pretty much every facet of our lives, right? It impacts our emotional well-being. Long-term chronic stress increases things like anxiety and depression. It impacts our mental ability because a stressed brain, I say, is a fried out brain. Your focus, your attention, your ability to problem solve all plummets with chronic stress. Physical illness can be worse when it comes to stress, right? Not only does it impact our body in terms of whether you have a headache or backache because of the stress, but for example, our immune system isn't as strong during chronic stress. And so we're more likely to become ill the more stressed we are. Stress, chronic stress can impact our relationships. I don't know about you, but when I am stressed out for a while, I'm not all that pleasant to be around. And then stress, of course, can impact work. Before this pandemic, stress cost US companies over $300 billion with a B dollars in things like turnover and absenteeism and healthcare utilization. I cannot even imagine what it's going to be after this pandemic. So what can we do? I've talked to a couple of organizations and they've told me, hey, you know what? We're gonna wait it out and then we'll start addressing it. Bad idea. New study from Lancet just came out and looked at not just the short-term effects of something like a quarantine, but the long-term effects on our emotional health, increased depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, in terms of the financial well-being, right? In terms of our mental well-being and our ability to work. That is all the bad news. The good news is, and please hear me say there is good news. The good news is handling stress, even during uncertain times, is attainable. They're just skills. We have to learn those skills. Look, if I asked you, can you speak Swahili? What would you say? Probably no, right? And I'd say, well, what's wrong with you? You can't speak Swahili. You'd say, well, I've never heard it before. I've never been trained in it. Right? But if you heard it, if you moved to a country where they spoke Swahili, if you learned how to speak that language and you practiced it, do you think you could learn how to speak Swahili? Yes, you could. Whenever we learn the skills and practice the skills at whatever it is, whether it's a new language or dealing with stress, we can get better at those skills. Managing stress, being productive and engaged even during times of uncertainty, leading even during these challenging times, all of these are skills that can be learned. Now, my desire, my goal is to help you, to help your teams learn those skills. So if I may be of assistance, great. If someone else can be of assistance to teach you these skills, great. The most important thing is that you and your team and your organization get these skills, they practice them so that we can help the emotional well-being, the mental well-being, the physical health, relationships, and work now and as we create our new norm.